Time to look at 25 more Minecraft village seeds for Java Edition. We've got multi-villages that spawn, villages in insane places, villages near other structures, and much more, and I know exactly the type of seed I want to start off with. With the Pale Garden being the most recent big feature added into the game, I wanted to find some seeds with villages near them. I just think it's a bit convenient to have a village near spawn, and whenever a new biome comes out, I always like to find them near spawn. So I get the best of both worlds when I find seeds with both around spawn. In this case, we get a blacksmith village in a meadow biome that's next to the Pale Garden. My favorite part of the village is this farm that's floating over a dripstone cave entrance though. And the building that is in the Pale Garden is pretty awesome too. I mean, this is kind of the whole point of finding a seed like this. The Pale Garden biome itself is a pretty decent size too, stretching pretty far across. And one last note, underneath the village is actually an ancient city, so go ahead and explore that too. Overall, a pretty decent Minecraft seed. A seed like this is kind of a Minecraft builder's paradise. Mountain rings are absolutely stunning locations. Adding a village to the middle makes this seed really worth trying out on survival mode. Having an incredible place to build at spawn with villagers already here is kind of like a cheat code. Outside of the immediate spawn are some pretty great locations too, like we've got this multi-level cave, this hillside village, and a pillager outpost. Genuinely just a beautiful, fantastic Minecraft seed. This type of seed is kind of a classic for me to share. I've been finding desert temple villages for a long time. At this point, if I'm looking for a desert village, it's almost always if it has a temple nearby. This ruined portal being nearby is a nice addition to this one too. Here's a basic plains village seed, just a regular village in a big plains biome. We've got a blacksmith, a church, and a library. My favorite part of this seed is this cave opening over here. Pretty cool spot for a mineshaft to be, especially with this being the cave spider spawner section. Just a nice little basic Minecraft village seed. Alright, so this seed is pretty interesting. It's obviously a snowy, icy, cold looking seed, well, except for that little patch of windswept gravelly hills there. The ice spikes all around are pretty cool. We've got some fairly tall ones, some looking like they're holding up terrain, and that one isn't necessarily tall, but it's high up towards the sky. I guess if you're looking for a snowy village, I'd recommend checking out this one. As I've mentioned before, when it comes to finding desert temples now, I almost always look for a temple to be next to it. So with that, I thought, what about two temples? And that's what I managed to find. It happens to be two different types of temples. Honestly, I just think that's really cool. Down underneath this area, there's a trial chamber, and it's even connecting with a lush cave. If you want structures, check out this seed. Or maybe you want some terrain like that over there. Either way, check out this seed. Spawning into this Minecraft seed is just incredible. I mean, you're right next to a blacksmith village and a dripstone cave opens up right next to it. But really, it's spawning in this cherry grove circle that is awesome, one type of Minecraft terrain that I'll never get sick of finding. The village, this ruined portal, and the dripstone caves all around, especially this big cave, all just add to how great of a spawn this seed has. But cherry grove circle seeds are always a special find. This is one of my favorite Savanna village seeds I've found in quite some time. It's an oceanside village, which automatically is a nice little plus for me. It's also a blacksmith village, which is another little plus. And there's a shipwreck here too, which is just awesome. Maybe the villagers crashed here and just decided to settle here. Savanna villages aren't something I typically do a lot of searches for, but when finding one like this, I definitely don't complain. It's no surprise that I've been looking for lake village seeds since I discovered my first one a while back. I just think they look really cool, and of course that's what I have here. This is just a small village, it's pretty much just one path and it has a little offshoot at the end there, and with only 5 buildings it still has a blacksmith and a tannery. The whole surrounding spawn area is really awesome too. The meadow going up behind the lake looks great, and the mountains as a backdrop there are just really cool. There's also another blacksmith village over in the meadow that you can check out too. This is just a stunning Minecraft seed. Among my searches for lake village seeds, I've found plenty of frozen lakes too, and I just love how they look. Of course, these cold biomes aren't my first choice to live in, but the look of the villages on the ice is just really cool. There's even an igloo here in this village. At first glance, it would just look like a nether building, but it generates right in the middle of the path, so that's the first sign it's not. Underneath the village, there's a trial chamber too, so this is a great place to explore and it's nice to have it near spawn. But yeah, I don't know, let me know what you think about these frozen lake villages, even if you just think they look cool but wouldn't want to actually use a seed like this. This is a pretty stunning Minecraft seed. We've got the Circle Mountain here, which is always fantastic. We've also got the Pale Garden, which is awesome to have near spawn. And then we have a village too, which I'll never complain about. The village is even near this big crater area with some aquifers here and some of the village down at the bottom. Definitely a great seed option for you for your next 2-week Minecraft phase. There are a few things about this that really stand out. Of course, we've got a spawn in an abandoned village, and there's a ruined portal that fits right in with the village too. And then over here, we have this big crater that has an opening down to deep slate level. And this spot right here looks like a ravine at first glance, but it actually opens up to a big cave. And one last thing, just northeast of spawn, there's a plains village in this river. And this is actually a double blacksmith village. I mean, definitely a decent seed to spawn into for sure. There's a change to Minecraft in 1.21.3 that made spawn points on islands less likely, which means a lot of island seeds previously found now have spawns in completely different locations. With that, island villages became more difficult to find, but I've refined my searches a bit, and I've been able to find some here in 1.21.4. We've got this one here, and from this angle it looks vaguely like it resembles a heart shape, I guess. Or I guess not really, but could be easy to terraform it. I'll have this terraformed world ready for download for channel members, by the way. The village has a lot of buildings, so that's great, and there's even a shipwreck right over here on the coast of the island. I'm going to keep on searching for more island villages and hopefully find a spawn ocean village at some point too. I spawned into this seed inside of a building and next to a brewing stand. Exiting the building brought me to a quaint village within a beautiful landscape, including a small cherry grove. Down underneath this village is a trial chamber for you to check out. Honestly, for a basic village seed, this is pretty much perfect. This is just one of those Minecraft seeds that looks really cool. I mean, it's not the tallest cliffside village I've ever shared, but this cave being back here is just really awesome, and that's not to mention the shipwreck on the cliffside. How do you think they managed to get this stuck on the cliffside like this? Let me know your theories or whatever. But yeah, just a really cool seed, and what type of build do you think would look nice here? I found this Archipelago seed here and I thought it was pretty cool. So obviously we've got a few different islands here in different sizes, and it's right near a frozen ocean. Then on the biggest island, we have a village here, so that's pretty cool. And there's also this ruined portal here for one more structure. Again, pretty cool, I guess. So yeah, just thought it was kind of decent and figured I'd share it for anyone wanting an Archipelago seed. I was looking through Minecraft double village seeds and I found this one that is a bit unique. So we spawn in this village here, and aside from like some weird elevation changes and weird terrain, there's nothing too crazy about this one. But directly west, about 40 or 50 blocks away, we get this second village. And this one has a blacksmith, so that's nice at least, but you also notice that huge dripstone ravine with the mineshaft that goes right underneath the village. This is just really cool. I mean, look how easy it is to access this chest here, and there's even some of the village all the way down here too. It all just looks really cool. Definitely one of the more unique double village seeds that I've ever shared. So there's this dude, Awesome Player 98, who's kind of like a legend at finding these underground village seeds. They have a ton of posts on Reddit and their own YouTube channel too, but here's one of those seeds that they recently shared. So yeah, looking around spawn in this seed, we've got a cherry grove, some ice spikes, an outpost, and then one village, a second village, a third village, and right over there is the fourth village where I'm going to head to. You can see that if you're just looking over here, it looks like a pretty normal plains village. Of course, when you go over here, that changes pretty quickly. The view from above looks really awesome like this, but really nothing is better than just exploring this area down here with the dripstone and the mineshaft adding such awesome detail around the buildings. The mineshaft being down here makes it feel like the villagers have been exploring and mining out of this cave, and this being a blacksmith makes it feel like this villager just set up shop down here. If I go over here, there's another dripstone surface area with a mineshaft too. Just so much to see around spawn in this seed, and these underground villages are always just really awesome to see. I found this seed that's probably not the most practical, but I thought it looked pretty cool, so I wanted to share it. So we've got this frozen ocean cliffside here, and there's these generation height limit mountains too. Of course, we have this village on the cliffside. And this little cave thing here looks interesting with that snow building inside there. And then we have this igloo here, which I think is really cool how it generates like this. We get the ladder section going down the cliffside and into the basement section with the zombie villager tutorial thing. Just a really cool look. And I just want to mention the mountains again. Over there, we've got some frozen peaks too. And there's this village that generates in the mountains and looks like a mess too. But yeah, obviously not a seed for everyone, but I just thought it looked pretty cool. My first time loading into this world, I spawned in up at Y level 199. In another attempt, I spawned in at 170. And in another attempt, I was all the way down at ocean level. And if you're at ocean level, be sure to look up and see why this spawn is just crazy. Yeah, this is a windswept village, and the village is a plains village somehow, as opposed to a desert or savanna village. And I really like the look of this because it's just like layers of village that go all the way up until like Y200 or so. But there's also a bit more here too. We get this desert temple right next to the village, and over here is a ruined portal, and underneath this area we've got a trial chamber. So there's just so much to see at this spawn. Definitely check it out for yourself. Throughout my time of showing Minecraft seeds and videos, I've shown a bunch of mansion village seeds. Villages next to mansions, villages in mansions, and that's what this is, but it's also a bit more. Let me explain. So of course, we get the meadow village next to the woodland mansion. We've got the village generating around the mansion here, with this building sticking out of the mansion's roof. Even near the entrance, we can see some of the village pass. That means we get a bunch of the village generating in random spots throughout the mansion, and that includes spots on all 3 floors. Of all the seeds I've shared like this, I think this is the most the village well is actually inside of the mansion, and I think that's because this spot, the village center well, is actually in the mansion. But it doesn't stop there, and it gets a little crazier. We have this cave here, and clearly the mansion stretches down into it. But over here, we have a small village house. It actually feels like this would be much lower than Y level 60-ish, but the meadows and high elevation biomes make this cave be pretty high up. It really does feel like this building is really far down though. I just want to say that inside the cobblestone is more village path and a light post too, so that's pretty cool. And also being able to see the building from this surface cave opening is just really awesome. Such an awesome view. I really mean this when I say this may be my favorite mansion village seed I've ever personally discovered. This is a pretty great Minecraft starter seed. We've got this oceanside village here, which always looks pretty cool. It has a blacksmith, so you can collect the loot inside. It also has a church here for a brewing stand, and a tannery for a bit more starting loot. We also get this farm for food, which is right next to a shipwreck for even more loot. You're also near some space for a base and plenty of different trees, including a pale garden. So just a nice little starter seed for survival. They may have made it a bit harder to spawn on islands in Minecraft, but that's not stopping me from finding some really cool ones. This is a pretty decent size for an island. It has 2 villages on it, so that's great. Both villages even have a blacksmith, and I found at least 1 diamond in both, so that's awesome. And there's even this mini cherry grove here, which is pretty cool. Always find a way to find some cool island village seeds. I can't get enough of these lake village seeds. They're just so cool looking. This village is even fully on the lake too, just a floating village there. And there's a floating ruined portal right over here, so that's pretty awesome. 2 floating structures on 1 lake is just great. I guess if you don't like the lake, you could just open this up to the ocean too, and have this be like a little cove area. But yeah, these lake villages have just become a staple of my videos now. This seed has 3 villages that spawn, and that's not even my favorite part about it. But let me just focus on those villages to start off. The first village is pretty cool with it being partly in a small cherry grove. There's also some pretty cool cave and ravine type areas too. Then we can head on over to this second hillside village here. The hill makes it a bit of a mess, but it does give us some cool houses like this. And then we have this third village over here, This one is just a pretty typical plains village with nothing too special about it, I'd say. So now let's head over to that other location that I mentioned. This pale garden generates in a circle with a smaller dark forest in the middle. It's pretty cool that a woodland mansion generates in a small dark forest, and we even get some cool generation spots like this little cave here. Just a really cool piece of Minecraft world generation, and adding that to a start of the world with 3 villages is just fantastic. If you're looking for some pale garden seeds, check out the video on the left, or check out the video on the right that YouTube thinks you'll like. Thanks so much for watching, I'm out of here, see ya.